You might spend hours or even days just figuring out what to include or how to write something that a prospect actually wants to read. Conversational copy is key. Simply put, write like you talk.
So let me show you how to set up your messaging templates. The messaging templates are the key to the sequencing series. So in order to get your templates in there, go to the little page icon. This will pull up your template page. The ones we use most often are the invite message and the sequence message. You can use InMail. Most of our clients actually prefer not to, and that's one of the benefits of the lead pilots is that you don't have to use InMail credits in order to get the sequencing message out. So let's start with invite. If we click on invite, this is the message that the prospect or the person you're trying to connect with is going to see as a first touch point. You want this to be very personable. You want this to be relatable, authentic, all of those things that kind of filter into conversational and not salesy. That's where you'll have the best success. What you do is you just name your template. So we'll do invite number 1. You can name it whatever you want, just to make it stand out in your own mind. We do have some variables here, so you can insert their first name, last name, company name, title, industry, things like that. And I do recommend that you use some of these. I think it's really great to let them know that you are looking to connect with them, whether that's based on their title or industry, something to that effect, some shared commonality. If you do that, you'll have better success in the amount of connections that come back as accepted. So we do have some templates also. You're welcome to use any of the templates, but even the templates honestly need some customization. So it sounds like it's coming from you. But when you're satisfied with that, you create, and then you go over to the next series of messaging. So in this instance, it's going to be sequence. And you'll start seeing, as you build these out, you'll start seeing them populate in the left here so that you can use these in the future. So I just clicked on sequence 1, first message. This is what one of the messages that was written. You can customize it, make sure there's some variables in there, and then you create. Once you have your first invitation to connect and then 3 sequence messages, you're ready to go over to the campaigns. The campaigns are where you actually get to build out the sequence. So you click on campaign, this little play icon over here, and then create campaign. You can call this whatever you want. A lot of our users name it by campaign type. So that might be based on the goal they're trying to achieve, or it might be based on audience commonality or industry or job title, some things like that. But you want it varied enough to where you know what it means. And then you paste in the link from LinkedIn where you found the people you want to target. And then create campaign. And then we have our new test campaign right down here. Once that it populates, and it usually just takes a few seconds, quite less than a minute, but don't panic, it's coming. But you then go to the edit button, and this is where we're going to select the templated messaging that we just put in. So you'll see we call this test campaign. We put in our URL already. Some of our clients do adjust these time settings a little bit. We have some clients that like to only send messaging in the morning so that their messages can say, hey, good morning. Or we've had a client test just sending on Monday. So they could say something like, hey, I hope you had a good weekend, knowing that the message was going to go on Monday. So you can play around with that and what makes sense for you and your business. But then you come down here to profile invites and sequence are the 2 things we're focusing on right now. So we put in the sequence message. Now we need to go to settings and select that connection message. So we'll push connect message. For this message, right now we're sending it to 50 people in our target audience per day. Now, what we recommend is you start small. Start around 25 users per day, and then you're going to bump that up by 5 every day until you get to about 100. We like to not max out the system only because we want our activity to look as human as possible in the eyes of LinkedIn, just so we're playing by their fair use policy. So we have the invite set up. Now let's say this person connects. The next thing we want them to see is this sequencing message. So we're going to click on settings. This looks really similar to any sort of CRM or drip campaigns you've done in the past. You select the template. This is back from where we put in the templated message. Then you add a step. You get to select how many days later you want this to go, and you can certainly play around with what the appropriate time frame is. Most often we're using about 3 to 5, maybe 7 days, depending on what the ask is. And then we put in our second message, and then we update the campaign. So now we're all set. Campaign was successfully updated, and you'll see it on your campaign dashboard here. As soon as it actually starts sending invites, this white bar will go from white to yellow like you see here, and then same for the sequence area. It will go from white to this grayish black, what you see here.